we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Mic check. Um, welcome to a Wednesday edition of Tuesday night's main event. I am, of course, your host, Don P. I decided to do this show today instead of yesterday because of the election stuff. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna just take it off. Everybody was off yesterday. The kids didn't have to go to school. Some people didn't have to go to work. Um, so I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna give myself another day. And that's what you do when you run your own stuff. So here we are. Before I get started, y'all see what's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Please, 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 please log on to Ohio Entertainment Awards.org and vote for Club Pizzle for Best Podcast. That is category number 28, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Club Pizzle was my other joint. That's like for my non-wrestling fans. Y'all know what I do over there. Most of y'all uh support me here. So yes, please log on ohioentertainmentawards.org and nominate Club Pizzle for Best Sports Podcast. Simply because it is the best podcast out here. Um, yeah, that part. So let's just get started, man. Y'all know my motto here. We are here for a good time and not a long time. Before I say that, I just want to let y'all guys know, quick programming note. As far as with Tuesday night's main event, I am only going to do this pod before the Tuesday before and the Tuesday after the PLEs. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, trying to juggle this and juggle my other pods, and it's getting to be my busy time of the year, and it's becoming to be the end of the year. I'm going to do this one twice a month. Ooh, shoot, I got a look at that water spot on my shirt. That's what I get for being sloppy. But yes, man, I'm just going to do this one before and after each WWE PLE. It's still going to be WWE stuff. And even with me switching to 2 times a month, there's a possibility that I can get some other wrestling, pro wrestling / sports entertainment stuff in. So people are, what about AEW? What about Impact or TNA? Or what about New Japan? What about this one? What about that one? Y'all might get it. So again, man, after tonight, the next time y'all will hear from me will be the Tuesday before Survivor Series and the Tuesday after Survivor Series. That is the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. So let's just get right to it, man. Crown Jewel took place this past Saturday, live over in Riyadh, and for me, I'm gonna be honest. First watch, I wasn't the happiest at first watch. Like, and trying to watch it because I was at work Saturday trying to watch it at work. And that first run through after the opening match, I was kind of like, all right. And then they, but I'll get to the matches in a second. I just want to give my thoughts on it as a whole. Like, as a whole, it was okay. First watch, it really didn't hit me. The second time I ran through it, got an opportunity to watch it down here on the cave on the big screen with the lights and all of that good stuff on. And it was better that time around. Excuse me, y'all. I'm looking for stuff. But yeah, I'm not gonna say I totally hated it, which I didn't totally hate it. It was a pretty good watch. So let's just get to this card. I don't watch pre-shows anymore, especially now since they don't have pre-show matches anymore. So I just skip the pre-shows altogether and just watch it from probably I may watch like the last 5 minutes of the pre-show. and then I'll watch it from the top. And they opened, surprise, surprise, with the bloodline match. Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga with Tonga Loa in their corner, taking on Roman Reigns and the Usos. Now, the first thing I noticed with this match is the entrances when Roman and Jimmy came out, and then Jay came out by himself. At that moment, I could already see where this is going. And let me reiterate, predictable is not bad in wrestling. It's not. It's just not. There's nothing wrong with predictability, especially when you predict it and it makes sense. Now, when the storylines when people are predicting these storylines and they going all over the place and they're stupid and they don't make sense, then yeah, you can be upset. But with this one, you kind of knew where it was going. Jay came out by himself. Roman had a look on his face. I don't know if that was a, hey, fam, wrap this up, or, wow, look at Jay. Jay has become what I thought he would become. It was kind of hard to gauge it. Like with Roman's so good with the expressions and the gestures. So this match gets going, and Solo, Jacob, and Tama Tonga have theirs together. They're a tight-knit unit. The other side is a little different. Jimmy and Jay, bam, they got right back to doing what Usos do. They got right back to doing Uso-ish. They got right back to their day one-ish, which was enjoyable, seeing them get their double team moves off. And when Roman wants to tag in, Jay doesn't tag him in. So we know that the issues with them are up. And for now, they're stuck. But moving on with this match, like, you could just see it's still tension there. And of course, things aren't going to get resolved in 1 week. They are going to eventually, I think, figure it out. But again, man, let me go back to the new bloodline. Solo is still getting better. I don't hate Solo. And I don't hate this new bloodline. I don't like them being treated like mutts, which is why I'm not mad at the results of this match. Solo and his bloodline get the win. Solo pins Roman, which is, y'all will see in my my power rankings. Y'all gonna see what's up. But Solo pins Roman. Sammy comes out and evens the score, if you will. And as they corner Solo in the middle of the ring, Roman goes for a Superman punch. Sammy goes for a haluva kick in the middle of the ring, which I found very odd. I found that to be very, very odd for him to do that, right? Nope. Y'all caught that, right? Y'all understand where I'm coming from with that. It was you go for the haluva kick in the middle of the ring. Never seen you do that. Why did you decide to do it now? Kicks Roman in the face, knock Roman out. He storms to the back. He's looking crazy, right? Overall, though, this match was just a teaser for what's to come. And I got a feeling when I come sit down with you guys a couple of weeks from now, that I'm going to be previewing a OG bloodline with Sami Zayn going up against Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and the Tongans. That's my feeling here. when I come the next time I sit down and talk with you guys, because we saw Monday Night Raw, Sammy came out and now he's going to be at SmackDown Friday. So we're going to see the results of this. And they're kind of fast tracking it. And I get it because Survivor Series is right here. It's long-term storytelling, but they're kind of doing it quickly. I don't believe this whole Bloodline story is going to end. Well, this part of the Bloodline story, I don't think it's going to end after Survivor Series. There's still a bunch of other stuff in here. There's still the Usos versus the Tongans, which we're eventually going to get. I can feel it. WrestleMania, those two going at it. I believe The Rock is going to get involved in this at some point. Is going to set up Rock Cody in something. Is going to set up Rock versus Roman at probably possibly WrestleMania. All of this Bloodline stuff, or this part of it, it's not over. You got Jacob versus Roman in here somewhere. Royal Rumble maybe. I like to see Jay versus Jacob. You got to see Solo at some point. What I would really love is for all of them to somehow be in a elimination chamber in some form or fashion. Or remember like the 6-man or the 8-man Hell in the Cells that they used to do back in the day? Something crazy like that. But it has to be something. Something has to resolve this whole tribal chief thing. When the smoke clears, it's gonna be Roman. Roman's gonna get his will of follow back. Moving on. The women's tag team championship match. Bianca and Jay going against Damage Control, Jakara Jackson, the Lash Legend, and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I didn't think they were gonna do a popcorn match this early in the show. But that's exactly what this match was to me. It was a popcorn match. There was some good stuff here. There are some interesting things. I am a huge fan of everybody in this match except for Chelsea and Piper. They kind of like, what is y'all purpose? Like, y'all can get out of here. But I get what they did. Bianca and Jay said they take on all challengers. So you got a tag team from Raw, which is Damage Control. You got a tag team from SmackDown, which was Chelsea and Piper. And you got a tag team from NXT, which was Jakara and Lash. Now, you still have to... And Bianca and Jay get the dub here, which I think I did predict that. I did say they were going to get that. But at some point, those belts are going to have to come off of them. At some point, Bianca and Jay do have to break up. It's been a good almost year for them. Does the breakup happen at the Rumble? Does the breakup happen at Survivor Series? We'll see how they make this happen. But the Bianca Jay thing is inevitable. And I'm going to ask y'all, the Bianca and Jay breakup, who turns on who? Is it the obvious Jay turning on Bianca, or do we want to see heel Bianca Belair, this version of her? We saw the NXT. Anybody who watched NXT, we saw Bianca as a heel in NXT. I'd love to see Bianca as a heel at this level, where she's a million times better than she was when she was in NXT and when she first came up. But again, this was Lash and Jakara impressed. I really hope to see those two in the Rumble. And once they do another draft, I'm hoping Jakara and Lash do make their way up to the main roster, because both of those young ladies are ready. As far as Damage Control goes, you're just working with Kyrie and Io right now because Dakota is injured and Asuka's injured. So at some point, I do believe that Damage Control is going to end up as Asuka, Kyrie, and Io, and they're gonna kick Dakota to the curb. She deserves a run by herself because Dakota's really good. Moving on, Seth freaking Rollins and Bronson Reed. These are my kind of matches. This is kind of like the little guy going against the big man. This is like the Shawn Michaels Vader type joints. Which, yep, it's one of those. It's good to see Seth back. It's great to see Seth back. So happy he's back. Him being one of the, or if not the standalone MVP of WrestleMania, what he did at WrestleMania, took his time off, came back, dropped right in this feud with Bronson. Bronson busted him up. He went and sat down for a little longer. He came, now he's back. And he's in this feud. And I'll say, even in the loss, Bronson Reed looked good. And that's the thing with WWE. That's the thing with Triple H and Creative now. These guys can have incredible matches and lose matches and still look good. That's what made Shawn Michaels the greatest of all time. Because he can lose a match, but he can put on a great match. He can steal the show. That's what made Ric Flair one of the best to ever do it. He could put on a great match and lose, and win or lose, he's going to come out. Everybody's going to come out looking great. He's going to make the person he's in there with look great. Even John Cena in some cases. He come out, that's what made him what he was. Like, his matches, people are interested, people are vested, and the person that he's going up against, win or lose, is going to come out looking good on the other side. Bronson is going to be okay. He's the big man. That's pretty freaking agile, and he gets busy. He causes a lot of destruction, and the MF Doom tights that he wore were fire. Let's be clear about that. Loved it. Absolutely, positively loved it. And what a match. He put on a great match. I don't think these two are done because Bronson came out on Raw and just wrecked shop. He just made enemies of everybody. Damian Priest wants a piece. Sheamus wants a piece. I don't know about Dom because Dom was out there hiding, so Dom don't want none of that smoke. Moving on, the first ever women's Crown Jewel Championship, Liv Morgan defeating Nia Jax. Everything that I said what happened in this match happened except for one thing, and that was Tiffy cashing in. She teased it, she teased it, she teased it, and I still think that she should have cashed in on Nia, which is going to come. I'm going to stop predicting it, and the minute I stop predicting it is when it's going to happen. So this match, again, was a decent one. Liv's, she's done a great job getting herself over and getting that character and getting the heat and getting the people to cheer or boo. I cheer because I love Liv. Nia is up. She has to be one of the best women wrestlers of the year. These two are like 1 and 2 on the women's list. I promise y'all, the next time I do a power rankings, I'm going to do men and women. I just been doing the men. I ain't gonna lie, I've been lazy. Okay. I'm going to do men and women. But Liv and Nia are 1 and 2. Because they've all year since Liv came back, she's been on a tear. Since Nia came back, she's been on a tear. Look at the accolade. Look at what both of them have done. Beating people up. Nia wins Queen of the Ring, goes into SummerSlam, dethrones Bayley, and has put on good matches. Nia even put on a great match with Rhea. Was it this year or last year? She put on a great match. Liv, that character, the whole Dirty Dom thing, taking over Judgment Day, the match at SummerSlam and beating Rhea Ripley, beating Becky Lynch. Now she's beating Nia Jax. That's 3 former world champions in 1 year. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. So those 2 were the best 2. Liv came out with the win after a bunch of shenanigans. Tiffy teased the cash in, as I said. Then here comes Raquel and here comes Dom, and they cost Nia the match. And I think the cash in should have happened after. But with the crown jewel, with the ceremony, Triple H coming out and giving her the title and holding her hands up, and I get why they didn't do it. But overall, a decent match. On the second watch, I wasn't upset at the match. Just the shenanigans were what they were, and you're going to get shenanigans when you, especially with these 2 who are the champion and they have people in their corners, right? Next up, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. They had a match. They had a match, but it wasn't a match. They had a fight. They brawled. They beat the crap out of each other, which we love to see, right? We love to see these good old-fashioned brawls. We love to see these matches where the guys can't stand each other. Kevin Owens is on a nice little tear. I like this turn for him. I'm excited to see where this turn leads him in the feuds that are going to take place after this. It makes me wonder, who's he going to go after on SmackDown? Is it going to be him? I would love to see him at LA Knight, to be honest with you. Go after US Gold. Why not? Go after a title, Kev. But that brawl, it got nasty. Adam Pearce took a RKO. Nick Aldis got the heck out of Dodge. Way to go, Nick. Adam Pearce on Instagram and on X is absolutely hilarious. The dude posts some award-winning stuff. So this match never happened, but it was some action. They fought for about 10-15 minutes. Got a little bit of action in there, which was cool. Next up, we have LA Knight against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes for the US title. And I've seen better triple threat matches, yes. But this was a good match. These 3 gentlemen, you got LA Knight, whose US title run for me has been a little disappointing. It's kind of like, all right, we're going to put a title on him. Now what we going to do? So it's been a little underwhelming. I would love to see him get into some feuds. Again, Kevin Owens, I'm throwing Kevin Owens' name out there. He has a little bit of heat. I don't want to see him against these 2 guys. Well, I would love to see him and Carmelo straight up without Andrade interfering. I would love to see him and Andrade without Carmelo interfering. But a feud with Kevin Owens, I would like to see. A feud with Randy Orton would be a damn good feud for him. I don't know if you want to put him in there with any of the Samoans, if him and Jacob or him and Solo, because those 2 guys are going to be busy. Who else on SmackDown could you possibly put him up against going into WrestleMania? Because I'm not expecting a draft or a shakeup no time soon. You don't get him in Roman. You don't get him in Jimmy. But let's get to this match. This match has some good spots. Carmelo Hayes, I'm telling y'all, Carmelo Hayes is a future champion, a future mid-card champion, and that's okay. Me personally, I would love to see him and Trick get back together, and then them and the Street Profits form some type of a squad. That would be something that I would welcome. I would love that. That would be fire, actually. The Profits and Trick Mello game would be absolutely fire. I'm dying to see where Andrade goes because Andrade, all three of these guys are so good. Andrade is so good. And they did all of the little vignettes for him on his way back in, and they tried to display him. And him and Carmelo have had 6 great matches. The 7th one was cut short because of the shenanigans with LA Knight as the referee. But these 3 guys, I want to see where they go next. LA Knight did get the win and he did retain his title. It's time for LA Knight to get into a feud with somebody else. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's just time. LA Knight has been having a good year too. LA Knight is up as one of those guys who could be in that that wrestler of the year category. And finally, in the main event, Cody Rhodes took on Gunther. This match was so old school to me. This was white meat babyface versus white meat heel. This is old school at its finest. This is Dusty versus just put somebody in there. That's what it felt like. Both guys looked good. They didn't make neither guy look like a mutt, which I'm happy about. They both did their job. Gunther is great. Oh man, Gunther is so good, man. He does it well. He just does it well. What can you say about Gunther that you don't have enough superlatives for him? And that was it, man. Overall, I give this about a B. Again, the tag match was decent, and it could have been better. Would have liked to see Randy and KO in a proper match, but it is what it is. It still get a B. Those belts are huge, and I understand why they gave them rings, because who the hell want to carry around those big ass belts? Those are some big ass belts. That belt was bigger than Liv, whole upper body. It was just like the size of her torso. Huge belts. The rings of fire. And I would love to get over to Riyadh one day to that experience to be able to check those belts out. If that's a permanent thing. By the way, and Big E did mention this, they need something like that in the States. It's about time. TKO, listen to me, look at me, listen to me when I say this. It is time for WWE to build a proper physical Hall of Fame building. Because right now, the Hall of Fame is just a bunch of wrestlers and sports entertainers and managers and all that good stuff. It's time to build a building. The money that's coming in, and I'm not here to pocket watch y'all, TKO, but the plan needs to happen for y'all to have a physical WWE Hall of Fame building, and I will be there the minute that they build it. Before we get out of here, let's get into my power rankings. Coming in at number 10, I got Kevin Owens, and number 9 is Randy Orton. Those two can be interchangeable. That match was what it was. Again, those two guys, there are 2 of them. Coming in at number 8, new 2-time Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker. Had to put him in there. The champions are in here, and I'm dying to see what's next for Bron Breakker. Number 7, LA Knight. He's so good. I have to put him here. U.S. champion. He has to be here, whether he's at 7, whether he's at 8, whether he's at 9, whether he's at 10. Number 6, a returning Seth freaking Rollins. Yes, he's there because 6, he's doing his thing, and he always puts on great matches. In at number 5, I got Damian Priest, and that's a little controversial. I fought with 6 and 5. Like, where should I put? But Damian Priest is the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, so that was my coin flip. In at number 4, this is going to be interesting. Roman Reigns. He's down 3 spots from number 1. He lost the match, yes. It's a tag match nonetheless, but he lost the match. Coming in at number 3, Solo Sikoa. Beat Roman Reigns. He is a tribal chief as of this moment. He's pinned Roman. Roman's never pinned him. He still has the Ulafala. And again, at some point, Saturday night's main event, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. At some point, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa are going to lock up at WrestleMania for the Ulafala and for the right to be the tribal chief. And you can do that without holding the championship hostage. In at number 2, Gunther, World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, he just lost this match. And that was going to be my deciding factor on who was going to be number 1 and who was going to be number 2 once I started to come up with this list for this time around. Whoever won that Crown Jewel Championship and whoever won that match head-to-head was going to be number 1, which makes Cody Rhodes number 1. So to recap it, we got Kevin Owens at 10, Randy Orton at 9, Braun Breaker at 8, LA Knight at 7, Seth Rollins at 6, Damian Priest at 5, Roman Reigns at 4, Solo Sikoa at 3, Gunther at 2, and Cody Rhodes at number 1. Before I get out of here, make sure you guys again log on OhioEntertainmentAwards.org and vote for Club Pizzle category 28 for best podcast. And again, the next time I see you guys will be the Tuesday before Survivor Series. That is like 3 weeks from now. I'm going to preview Survivor Series, maybe recap everything that's been going on for the past few weeks or the weeks in between now and the next time I see you guys. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for Club Pizzle. And Tuesday night's main event will be back on its usual Tuesday day at 7 o'clock. I figured I'd do this today, and I figured I'd do this an hour early for you guys to take your mind off of the crap that has been going on my social media pages and through my news feed today. I feel like you guys needed a getaway, so I gave you guys that getaway. Hope y'all had a good getaway, and I will see you guys. Deuces.